Welcome back to another episode of the Revolutionary Girl Utena. So in the previous one, we got the end of the core, I guess, and it was a recap episode, kind of. But it was a recap episode with a bunch of new information. So we got to see the prince and another person talking to the prince, and we got to see all of the duels up until this point, right? And all of the duels kind of got a new, or not a new, but they kind of got assigned a team to them that I guess it wasn't really shown to us prior to this, right? But each of the duels kind of had a theme to them, kind of like the, I guess, the goal or the purpose for the duel itself, right? Which was really, really interesting going through all of the duels again. And yeah, as I said, the entire prince lore seemed very interesting, right? About the prince being the chick who doesn't have the power to break out of the shell, so he wants the shell to be, you know, broken into from the outside. What does that exactly mean? And like obviously them keeping an eye, those two people keeping an eye on Utena, because she seems like she could be the one to break the shell. So really interesting stuff happening here, and let's see where this new core goes. So if you want to watch this, Uncut Blood as always on my page in the description. Let's go into Revolutionary Girl Utena episode 14. What am I? That's what we saw at the end of the previous episode. The Boys of the Black Rose? That's kind of a crazy way to start this. Okay. Sorry, what did you say? Hmm. We don't know anything about her family, so I've been asking about this, or wondering about this, I guess. Whoa, what was that? Okay. I love Utena. Otori Akio. うーん。うーん。Okay. Okay. Giving some big. There's no war in Basing Say vibes. Ooh. Oh, why did it linger? What was his name? Sorry. Mikage. Mikage. Let me actually get my notes out. Okay. Ooh. Black Rose Society. Soji. Miki. Hmm. I feel like they have their own skeletons in their closet though. Nemuro Memorial Hall. Ooh. Is this why they've been trying to get Miki? Also, it seems like Mikage has a bit of a thing for Mamiya, huh? Wait, sorry. What's her name again? I don't have it written down. Otori Kanae. 18 years old, female. Otori Kanae. Okay. 18 years old, female, Kanagawa Prefecture. Otori. Otori. Oh, yeah, that's the name of the academy, isn't it? Makes sense. That's not creepy. Yeah. Mm. She's spiraling down. Oh, that's how they're trying to get duelists into their society. That's so cultish. That's such cold behavior. Exploiting people's deepest trauma for your benefit. Okay. Okay. Wait. am I the only one who's kind of seeing a connection here with what happened with Utena when she was younger and this girl here? Utena obviously being her mental state being exploited in that moment to get this. Obviously, in Utena's mind, it was a romanticized story, but I wonder if something similar happened with Utena when she was young and she's just remembering it with rose-tinted glasses because we still haven't necessarily seen what exactly happened when she was younger. We've been kind of like alluding to it and kind of like they've been talking about, you know, Toga and all of those things and what he could have done maybe, but I don't know. For some reason, this feels very familiar to what could have happened with Utena. And also, that was another thing that I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Anthy. Anthy, look, we know that Anthy is like she's not someone who very much knows like how to socialize, how to be like like the social etiquette and stuff like that. She does not know about it and stuff like that, and she doesn't really seem to want to learn about it and stuff like that. She does seem kind of like alien in that regard, right? So I can see her being like, oh, she gave me this, so now it's mine. So now I can basically use it for something that, I mean, I want to use it for, right? And something that I might need it for. And so she wiped her glasses with it, which obviously in a social situation would, as like someone giving you a gift like this, it would be very rude to do so. But from Anthy's perspective, I don't think she wanted to be rude or anything along those lines. That's how she is, and we know that that's how she is, right? It's just her personality or the lack thereof. Hmm. Get it pulled and get rid of it. Why does it sound different? Why does it have this weird, deep male vocal behind it? Flower?
私はこれから嘘の私を演じなくて済む。あの黒バラのせいか。さあ、天井を剣を抜け。さもなくばバラの花嫁をいただく。世界を革命する力を。もっと本気出してくれよ。かなえさん、さっき言ってたの。黒バラに誓って決闘を勝ち抜いてバラの花嫁にしよう。そう、よくわかったよ。なら手加減なしだ。
Here we go, power of the us. Yep, if she's fighting for Anthy, you stand no chance. You do not stand the motivation that she has. You cannot fight it. Okay, the thing that I said earlier about Utena feeling similar to this, it has nothing to do with it. Now I see, it's very different. I was on to nothing.
あれがデュエリスト、天井ウテナか。なるほど。世界の果てが期待するだけのことはある。心を凍結させて作っただけの間に合わせのデュエリストでは、彼女は破れないな。
Wait, what?
だけのことはある。心を凍結させて作っただけの間に合わせのデュエリストでは、彼女は破れない。
じゃあ、ウテナ様。これから外出しますので。ああ、今日はお兄さんに会う日だったね。いってらっしゃい。あ、姫宮。その後、かなえさんの具合はどう？ええ、もうすっかり元気で。よかった。でも、本当に彼女何も覚えていないの？はい、決闘前のことは全く。そう。だったら事情の説明も無理だね。とにかく君のお姉さんになる人に怪我させちゃって申し訳なく思ってるよ。あまり気になさらないで。ウテナ様のせいじゃありません。ありがとう。引き止めて悪かった。じゃあ、お兄さんによろしく。はい。あれ？チュチュいたんだ。お前は一緒に行かないの？
おいで、安心。一週間、寂しかったかい？
はい、お兄様。
What the fuck is happening? Um. Oof. What was this ending? You know what? I am not going to jump to conclusions. I am going to wait until the next episode to talk about whatever happened here at the end. I wanna actually I wanna actually see what exactly happened. But let's talk about the Black Rose Society and all of those things. So it seems like that is obviously, as I said, the Black Rose Society, right? Which So they want to obviously go against the Rose Society, I guess, the student council, if you will. They want to go against them. They did say that Toga was. They said that Toga was missing, right? Yeah, Kiryu. That Kiryu was missing. So yeah. But they want to go against them and take the bride for them, the Rose Bride for themselves, and kill her and make Mamiya into a Rose Bride. Now, does Mikage have a crush on Mamiya or something? It feels like it, the way that he's so adamant on making Mamiya his bride, right? Even though Mamiya is a guy, as he said. So that's, I don't know. I guess we'll see what exactly that means. The interesting thing was also, so what was it? Kanae. So Kanae. Interesting. So obviously she doesn't like Anshi. She can't stand her because she kind of creeps her out. Which, you know what, at the end of the day, kind of understandable, right? Anshi is a very alien feeling person because of how detached she feels from everyone. She doesn't act like you would expect a person to act. And we obviously don't still know really what the entire story behind Anshi is, or basically any of the story behind Anshi. Her brother here was the first clue that we got to anything to do with her family or anything like that. So, and it looks like there's something going on there with the brother and stuff. So I guess we'll see more about that in upcoming episodes. So yeah, it makes sense why Kanae would be kind of freaked out, but I do think, I don't know, I think the Black Rose kind of like amplifies the feeling of hatred and stuff like that into something more sinister, right? And uses it into its own goal. Because I don't think Kanae wanted to kill, right, Anshi. Because she felt like a pretty normal girl and pretty nice in a way. She just really couldn't stand Anshi, right? And then the Rose kind of took that feeling and made it into, oh, you want to kill her for our goal. So it wasn't like necessarily that the Rose fully brainwashed her. It feels like the Rose just kind of like amplified the emotions of Kanae into something way more sinister, right? But yeah, as I said, it doesn't seem like this is gonna work. Right, it's not gonna work if a duelist's heart is frozen or whatever, because that makes sense, because obviously the duels here are usually duels of some kind of motivation, some kind of ambition, and yeah, those duels are won by, who has the bigger ambition or whatever, something along those lines. Usually it's not actually like skill and stuff like that. So obviously if their heart is frozen, it's gonna be harder to win by ambition, right? And especially against Utena, who's fighting for Anshi. Good luck with that one. Good luck with that. So yeah, obviously it seems like they're trying to recruit actual duelists, right, into it, like Miki, but that didn't work out for them. I guess we'll see what exactly is going to be their plan there, who they're going to recruit, and who even are they, right? Who even are they? They came out of nowhere. And also they talked about the people who were buried underground, 100 of people, students, whatever, and we saw them there. So I don't know if... I don't know exactly what the history behind that was, right? So, yeah, it seemed like they were all duelists. Because it seems like their bodies have rings on them, and they said that when duelists die, their rings become black and stuff like that. Interesting stuff. As I said, no idea where it's gonna lead, but really, really interesting start to this core. But for now, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.